So this is the third part to WWE Raw, the December 2nd, 2024 edition. Now, I'm sorry. I know I've done a lot of three-parters today, but I just had a lot to say. I could talk about wrestling all day, y'all. All day. But anyway, let's get into it, right? So I left off where we come back and Jay gets attacked. Jay is attacked. He's on the floor. And Adam Pearce is there. Sammy is concerned because, you know, Jay is his best friend. And Sammy is like, who did this, right? Jay's like, I don't know. And Sammy's like, I know who did this. It was Seth, right? Because let me tell you, there's no video proof. There's no photo proof. There's no evidence on the ground. There's no evidence on Jay. Jay can't pinpoint his attacker. But all of a sudden, because Sammy's upset, it was Seth. So serious. So serious. Sammy's in his feelings because Seth called him stupid. And so he's seeing red, and now everything is Seth's fault. And so, of course, after all of this happened, what match do we have next? Seth versus Sammy. Now, in this whole match, Sammy is extremely aggressive against Seth. And mind you, Seth has calmed down from earlier in the day. You know, he was mad as hell at CM Punk. But he's relaxed. He's calmed down. And he's like, chill. He's like, I didn't attack your friend. I didn't. Yo, and Sammy's super aggressive. He slaps Seth across the face. And then Seth is like, you want to go down? We could go. Right? And so they're going back and forth. But then Sammy gets so angry at the thought. Well, not that. Because he thinks he knows that Seth attacked Jay. And so he goes out of the ring, gets a chair, and he's ready to beat Seth with it. Mind you, Seth is his friend. Seth just told him what Seth believes to be truth. Okay? That's Seth's truth. That's what he sees from his eyes. Right? And so Sammy comes in there with a chair, and Seth is like, bro, like, bitch, I didn't hit your friend. What the fuck? He's like, I did not hurt him. I did not hurt him. And this is when Sammy kind of takes a breath, stops, and thinks like, maybe he didn't. Yeah, because let me tell you, the whole match he was trying to kill Seth. But this section of the match, this like the last ending of the last part of the match, he's like, He actually is thinking about it finally. And then Seth takes advantage of his doubt because eventually Sammy goes and he throws the chair over the third row. Because first of all, if he used the chair, he would have lost the match, right? And he takes advantage. And Seth, I think he rolls him up. And whatever he does, Seth ends up getting the 1, 2, 3, right? Regardless, Seth ends up getting the 1, 2, 3. And so he leaves. Seth Rollins is gone. He leaves. And he's like, this guy is crazy, right? I know Seth is thinking this because he's talking to himself like, I didn't attack him. I didn't attack Jay, as he's walking away from the ring after beating Sammy. And who comes out and attacks Sami Zayn? Drew McIntyre. He's back. And I'm like, that's who attacks Jay. You know, Drew will ever hate Jay. Will always hate Jay. That is like a forever grudge, okay? And he's always said it. He will never forgive Jay. And so I think it was Drew who did it. Now, I love this storyline. I already told you what I thought about the opening promo, how it felt like it was a whole conversation, like it's a private conversation that we were being led into. I loved every point of this and throughout the night. And I like this match. I love how we're getting so many people involved in this one storyline, you know, and it's showing all of the effects that it's having on everybody. Specifically Roman don't even have to be on the show to be talked about all the time anymore, you know. And now Punk is here. It's a whole bunch of stuff. It's a lot of egos in this room. But I do want to take a side note because I just went straight into the main event because I thought it was really good, but there's other stuff that happened on Raw that I didn't talk about. R-Truth versus Pete Dunne. I'm over Pete Dunne and his stupid ass name. Your name was Butch. It ain't Butch. Move the fuck on, okay? Sorry for my language. Move on. Let me tell you. You want to know what happened in this match? Pete Dunne was so upset that somebody in the crowd called him Butch, that he let himself get distracted. R-Truth rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth won. Now, I'm happy that we're doing something with Pete Dunne. I'm not saying I'm not happy we're doing something with Pete Dunne. I am just saying that I think that this whole name should have been over when Sheamus' feud was over. That's all I had to say. That's all I had to say. This match was short anyway. It didn't do anything. It just, Pete got beat because he got upset over his formal name. Anyway, Breaker interviewed, and Ludwig interrupts his interview, and Breaker is like, you know what's interesting about Breaker? I don't feel like he's a heel or a face. He's like a tweener, because he doesn't run away. He's not a coward. You know, he's not a heelish, sneaky kind of, kind of cowardly vibe. He's I'm a cocky heel. And it's not even a heel to me anymore, I feel. But anyway, like I said, I think he's more like a tweener. Anyway, Ludwig interrupts him, and Breaker, because he's a fighting champion, he's like, I accept your challenge. I'll go talk to Adam Pearce about it right now. I can't guarantee a title shot, but if you want to fight me, you're going to get your chance, right? And so we'll see what happens, because I don't want Sheamus to get involved in this anymore. Let Braun beat Ludwig. Involve yourself after the match, not during. After, if that's what we're going to do. And continue with the Braun Breaker and Sheamus. I don't mind that, but Sheamus will always win that Intercontinental Championship. The story writes itself, right? And then we got Finn. Now, I had already talked about Finn in the other two, but he's all over through the night. And so Finn goes to Adam Pearce because Gunther was like, fuck you, I'm not giving you a title shot. And he goes to try to go above Gunther's head and go to Adam Pearce and be like, hey, I think I deserve a title shot, a world title shot. You know what Pearce says to this man? He's like, what you talking about? You can't even defend the titles you currently hold. Thank you. That's what I've been saying. Thank you. He can't even defend his tag team titles. He gonna come over here and get a world title shot? Anyway, Pearce said something interesting. No, he said, you know what? We'll talk about it. But he said to him, you gonna talk about defending those tag team titles next week, though. That we gonna talk about. And I'm really interested to see, because I feel like the SmackDown tag team division has been really we've been going somewhere there. Slow. But you know what? I see the pieces. Am I right? I don't know, because if I'm wrong, I'm going to be pissed because you could have done so much, WWE. But I see all the pieces, right? But here, in this division, I don't know what we're doing. I get the New Day. That was amazing. But what other tag teams do we have? We had the War Raiders, and they lost. Who's next? I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging. But maybe this has to do with the fact that the tag titles never get defended. Is it going to be LWO? I know they still exist. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. We do have, the teens are coming up now. Alpha Academy. We do have American Made. Okay. We do have a tag team division in Raw. I just blanked out for a second because, we barely saw them. But, interesting. I wonder who's the next contender for those tag titles. I may not be a tag team person, but I do feel like if you have titles, they should be defended. You don't have to defend them every week, but they should be defended. I'm sorry. Moving it along. I think that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about, because I already talked about Seth versus Sammy. I just wanted to talk about Finn and the whole Gunther thing, which was set up, by the way. Finn did get his match. I just got into a whole vent about the tag team division. But Finn does have a world title match at main event. And so how do I feel about this? I think this is going to be a great match. I would love for Finn Balor to go back into that world title picture. Technically, he was the first Universal title holder. That's where he should be. He's been in tag division forever. That's where we put him. He was with Priest, and now he's with JD McDonough. But we also got to do something with these tag team titles, And I think we are. I don't think the way that Adam Pearce seems, we may be going there. But I will give you my prediction for Finn versus Gunther. Gunther is going to win, and Priest is going to cost Finn that match. Bam. And then we're going to get a three-way. It's going to be Gunther versus Finn versus Priest. Will that be true? I don't know. And why don't you put Dom in there too? I will put Dom in there too, because Dom seems to be around that title picture. He seems to be getting some wins. Mind the noise. Anyway, that's all I had to talk about. That's it. Have a good day.